And certainly there's still damage.
Let's see, I think the video is still starting here. Okay, I'm live. I am live from my bed right now. Yes, I know that's strange. I'm doing a little work in my bed. It's day 3 of my moon cycle. I know, too much information, but I try to just, follow my body's rhythms, and I have some things I've got to get done. So I'm chilling in bed with some mud water and some regular water and doing some work. And I wanted to pop on live because I I'm always somebody that loves, not loves, nobody loves being vulnerable. I believe that our power can actually come from our vulnerability, and that power can come from being vulnerable. And I had a situation today that I wanted to share, not from a place of needing pity or any of that. There's a purpose for it that I want to share with you, because here's the thing: I work with a lot of people that struggle with doubt. I struggle with doubt. Every human on planet Earth struggles with doubt. And doubt and negative thinking, limiting thinking can keep us stuck, can keep us from putting our work out into the world. And I see this happen all the time with people, that want to achieve things, have goals, and get so scared about, what could happen. Okay, let's just dive in to what happened, and just know that it's about doubt, and I'm going to give you hopefully something that'll inspire you after I share a very vulnerable personal story. So I have a TikTok. I'm on all the social medias, and I've been enjoying using TikTok because it's quick, it's simple. I just pop on, I talk about like literally whatever is on my mind, and I put it into something that I hope is hopefully helpful for people, because it's just the stuff that kind of goes through my head, and kind of like what I'm doing right here, right now. And so I did that recently, a couple days ago, and it was talking about how I was talking about how we value. I was feeling shitty about myself because I wasn't doing any work, right? So I was like talking about my day and thinking about like what I had gotten done that day, and it really wasn't anything. And I commented about this on my Women Rising Facebook group. And I was commenting on like it was one of those days where all I got done was like making food for myself, a short workout, and I made one podcast. But because I didn't check anything off my to-do list for work, it felt like I hadn't done anything. And so there was judgment that was coming up for me around not having done anything that day. And it also reminded me of this time a friend came and stayed with me, and she's like, oh my gosh, today we did so many things. We went for a hike, we went to the farmer's market, we got a little work done because we were working on a project together. And in my head, I'm thinking we barely did anything because we hadn't done all the things. Didn't feel like we accomplished that much around work. And so between those two things that happened, I started to realize, okay, so in my belief system, put upon me by society, whatever life situations, etc., I'm only doing things if there's an end in sight, if there's a means to an end, if there's productivity put behind it. And so therefore rest is not something that I value. And it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything, even though it's what my body was needing this week. And so that was kind of the gist of the post that I made. It was basically around that, and can we start to be easier on ourselves around rest? So what happened was somebody else, another creator on TikTok, took just the very beginning of that video that I made where I was talking about this is for you if you feel like you're not doing enough and you're a perfectionist. And she took it and used it, just that clip, and made it about what she talks about and said that that has nothing to do with perfectionism. And she's talking more to people with autism, and it was more around autistic burnout. And kind of she goes on and on and on in the video. And it really didn't have anything to do with what I was talking about. And it's fine that she used it, but I kind of feel like she could have just made her own video and gotten the idea from me. Maybe she wanted to give me credit. I don't really know. The point is that somebody on there wrote a comment, and she said, I don't feel like the original video creator will even understand what you're saying, laughing face. She doesn't seem capable of that level of understanding. Oofda. Like, okay, so I read this, and here I'm like, why am I making a big deal about this? Like, this is just some person on TikTok who, is rude. The creator actually reached out to that person publicly and said she didn't think that was very cool. But I'm more here to talk about, I'm bringing this to you, not because I want to complain and want you to feel bad for me that I got a nasty TikTok comment. There's a point that I want to make about why I'm sharing this, but first I want to share about what it brought up in me. And I encourage you all to look at that, when things feel edgy, when you feel a little anxiety or a little like, oh, that person's an asshole, whatever, right? By the way, if you're here and watching, just say hi. I always like to know who's here. Say hello if this is resonating for you at all, or if you're like, Erin, what are you talking about? That's totally fine too. I'm gonna get to the point real quick. So what I wanted to share is what it brought up in me is literally this week, I had this belief system, this thought come up in the middle of the night, actually, which is always my indication that there's something subconscious going on. Our subconscious, by the way, is open when we dream. That's why our dreams are so weird, because there's all kinds of stuff in our subconscious. Our subconscious is literally, the way I see it, it's like a really messy house, like a hoarder's house. And there's all kinds of crap in there. Furniture stacked on furniture, newspapers stacked to the ceiling from like the 60s, it's crap. Ariel's here. Hi, Ariel. I'm curious to hear what you have to think about this. I swear I'm not here to get pity, but every, nice comment helps. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really not here to get pity about getting a nasty TikTok comment. But so that's kind of what this is about. We'll get there. We'll get to the point. So your subconscious mind is a really messy house. And so this week, I've had my menstrual cycle. I've been very tired, aka otherwise known as I'm sitting in bed filming a live. But hey, I'm putting myself out there, right? And that's what it's all about. Okay, so this comment happens. Okay, backtrack a little bit more. So I haven't been doing a lot this week, and my subconscious has some really strong programming that I'm working on around not being productive. It has to do with a lot of different things. There's Amy, hello. One of those being, you guys, I literally ran out of money in, I think it was 2012 or 13, while living in Los Angeles, you guys. Some of you know that story, probably a lot of you don't. I had to move out of the place I was living. I literally had negative money in my bank account. Had to beg at a gas station because I put a $200 check in that somebody gifted me out of the kindness of her heart. Thank you, Marge, if you're here. I put her check into my bank, and the bank held it because I had been negative for so long. It was that bad. So when I thought I had money, so I went to go get gas, and I couldn't get any gas. So I had to stand. I was about to go to a Kundalini activity. So I was dressed all in white with mala around my neck, looking like a spiritual person, and I had to beg at a gas station for money. And two people said no, two adults, and the third person I asked was literally a car full of teenage girls, and they gave me $5. And I put $5 in gas, and then I cried because it was like the lowest point in my life. I'm a college educated woman. So I'm giving you, I wasn't planning on telling all of this story, but I'm giving you a little backstory. It's like my subconscious has some freaking hardcore, like, we can't go back there. Like, that's, like, work your ass off because we can never go back to that place. Like, that was terrible. And it was. But we know from the nervous system information and about being in fight or flight, like, a person can't work at that level of productivity forever, right? Like, you're going to burn out, which I have multiple times over. And, yeah, it's a whole thing. But I just have to keep checking in because I can feel a lot of different stories wanting to come in, and I want to keep this succinct. So I woke up this week with kind of a panic in the middle of the night, which is always my indication that my subconscious is active. And it was reminding me of this chick on Instagram that has like 180,000 followers, and she talks about a lot of the same things I talk about. And my brain was feeding me all of this garbage about how, like, you're not as articulate as all these other people, you're not doing it as good. And my brain right now is like, I can't believe you're like sharing this publicly. And I'm like, yeah, I am, because people deal with this, right? I know you guys deal with this to whatever degree you do. Being a public figure, being online, putting yourself out there, that's a whole other ball game. But yeah, anyway. So literally, I have these beliefs come up this week. And then this woman takes my video, uses a teeny fraction of it on TikTok, where I'm talking about it's for you if you have perfectionism or this, and she talks to autistic people. That's not my demographic. I don't know a lot about autism, so I can't relate to that. And then this other person leaves a nasty comment that I don't have the capacity to understand what she is talking about in her video. In some ways, she's right. When I first listened to it and watched it, I was like, I don't understand what this person's talking about. But eventually I got it. The point is, what it triggered in me was this, like, I'm not articulate. Other people are better than me. I'm not going to be able to be a successful coach. And it's just like, whoa, right? And so this is how triggers work. Triggers come in so many different forms, you all. And I just want to call myself out in one way. Like, I didn't want to make this video, but in one way, I want to call myself out and step forward as a leader that is here to awaken people to my people, the people that I'm here to serve, those of you watching this, and to kind of show you a little process that, like, our brains are going to give us all kinds of stuff, and it comes from, again, subconscious patterns of different trauma that we've experienced. In this instance, for me, it was the trauma of running out of money at a certain point in my life. It's also, a lot of things from childhood, etc., etc. This is all the stuff that I talk about all the time. And oh, thank you, Ariel. She said, "Yep, keep being authentic." Of course, yeah. There's truth in our vulnerability. There's power in our vulnerability in our truth. But I also want to share this for those of you that, like, you have a dream, you have a goal, and maybe you're just scared to put yourself out there. Maybe you're scared to, like, you're scared of, maybe you want to start a TikTok, right? I remember it was probably back in like 2015. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. No, it was probably like 2013. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. Literally 2 years before I started a YouTube channel, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. But I was so scared of being judged. I was so scared what people were going to think. And I've gotten, I think, only one, but one really negative, nasty YouTube comment too. And I kind of like, I had gotten to such a place when I received that I kind of laughed it off. I was like, oh, you could say I've made it when I get the negative comments, you know, and I haven't. Like, there's, you know, I don't have a huge following on any of my social media. But the point is that we get so afraid of what others are going to say about us. What are people going to think about me if I put myself out there? That's even happening to me as I share this, because I'm sharing stuff that it's like, I don't really want to share this. I don't really want to be this vulnerable. But I'm calling myself forward, because every time we do, we rewire our brain to say, it's okay. I'm still safe. Like, people, you know, I still have a tribe. I still have people that value what I have to say, even if some people don't get it or some people think I'm an airhead, right? It's okay. Like, I'm still safe. And so a part of me, what you're seeing and witnessing here, is hopefully inspiring you to dip your toe in whatever it is you've been scared to do because you're afraid of being judged or you're afraid of what people are going to think of you. I hope it's inspiring you to do that, first and foremost. And secondly, I'm calling myself forward to help rewire my own brain. Like, that's the quickest way we rewire ourselves, is by taking what I call the bold move and just doing the damn thing anyway. Challenging yourself. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, like I did for 2 years, but I was so scared, you just go make one video. And you rip the band-aid off and you fucking do it. And you realize, oh, okay, nobody died. I didn't get, like, stoned to death. Nobody hung me. You know, some of that stuff is, like, wired deep within our DNA, whether we believe in past lives or not. Like, we carry the DNA of our ancestors. And if you believe in past lives, maybe you believe that shit happened to you in this life. You know, I don't know. But we've got to call ourselves forward. If you have an inkling to go do something and you're not doing it because you're afraid of being judged, you're literally going against your authentic self. You're literally going against the truth of who you are, and that's hurting you. That's hurting you. So there was a part that just wanted to be done, wipe my hands of TikTok. I'm done. I'm over it. I don't like this. All these, like, they were young people. You know, I think it's a young person platform. It's not for me. And I was getting all uppity when really, like, there's a lot of momentum over there for me too. And so it's just a practice of, like, putting myself out there again and again and again and again. And I know more negative comments are going to come. That's just the nature of it. So, hi, Anna. So it's okay. It's totally, it says I have more comments. Can't see those. Anyway, it's totally okay. It's totally normal. I'm gonna get more negative comments. If you put yourself out there, you might get some backlash. You might even get some backlash from people you really care about, from your family. But do you want to let that stop you from being your authentic self? Because when we are not expressing ourselves, when we have things that we want to do that we're not doing because we're afraid of failure, of judgment, of what would people think, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that, that really affects your throat chakra. There's a constriction that starts to happen when we don't express who we are and what we feel guided by our own wisdom and intuition to go and do. So that's all. I feel like I'm just going to keep repeating myself. I am going to go do some belief clearing now with the energy work that I do around this like fear of being not as articulate as other people, because that's just a load of bull. And it's probably true. Like I know I watch some people's videos, and a lot of what I do is just free form channel. So my stuff isn't always super smooth, as you can see in this video. I'm like here and then I'm over here, but I'm being guided with whatever comes to my mind, like that story from LA and going broke. I don't know why that popped into my head just then, but I feel like somebody needed to hear that, right? Like I've been to hell and back so many times, and it's not always gonna be an easy climb. It's not always gonna be easy. It's not always gonna be joy filled. But I'll tell you one thing. Where I'm at in my life right here today, and this could change, and if this could change next week. Where I'm at today, I recognize that not being truthful to myself, not following through on my guidance in what I've been given as like what I'm supposed to do, whether that's coming from my higher self, from spirit, from God, from the universe, from whoever, right? If I don't follow through on that, it constricts in my body and I start to get pain in my neck, literal pain. I start to get burnt out, exhausted, different issues hormonally. It affects my whole being. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm guided to do. And I'm going to keep encouraging you all to do the same. So let me know in the comments if there's something you've been putting off. Like I was putting off a YouTube channel for 2 years before I actually started it. What is that thing? And maybe give me a date. Like, by when are you going to go put that thing out there? I'd love to hear. So thank you for being here, loves. I hope this was somewhat supportive for you in me being super vulnerable and sharing something I did not want to share. I hope it supported you. Thanks for being here.